Hi, it's Grant Morris. Before the show starts today, I just wanted to tell you about the NOLA Chef's Aid for the Philippines. Remember after Hurricane Katrina here in New Orleans when we sort of dropped off the news and off the front page and nobody cared about us? Well, it's good to remember that the disaster that struck the Philippines is still going on. Nina Camacho, along with Chef Leah Chase, Mayor Mitch Landrew, Ralph Brennan from the Brennan Restaurant Group, GW Finn's executive chef, Tenny Flynn, Brightson's executive chef Frank Brightson, and over 40 other chefs from around the state are going to be participating in a fundraiser at the Hilton Riverside at the New Orleans Hotel Grand Ballroom on Monday, December 16th. Between 5:30 and 6:30, you can go meet the chefs, and then the whole event takes place after that. If you'd like to go, you can get a ticket for $100. You can get a ticket for $50 or $75 or even $35 if you'd like to be a volunteer. It's called NOLA Chef's Aid, and you can get information about it at nolachefsaid.com. Happy Hour again from Central City, New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com, and we're live today at Casa Borrega, which is a bar, a restaurant, and a music venue here on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard in Central City. You can follow them on Facebook and on Twitter and keep up with what's going on here. Come down and have a drink here. Come and listen to some Latin jazz, or just hang out with us for the next 60 minutes where you're going to meet 4 of the many thousands of fascinating people who live in New Orleans. You get to hear some music as well, live and recorded today. At the end of the show, you might conclude New Orleans is a great city where people love to talk, have fun, and enjoy great music. But there's a fair chance you know that already, so let's get right on with doing nothing but enjoying the next 60 minutes of happy hour together. Hello, everybody sitting around the table here at Casa Borrega.
Hello.
You have to practice. I have to practice saying Borrega because Hugo makes us say Borrega. Thank you very much. Okay, these are my guests today. Peter Mange Jr. How's your dad?
He's good. I actually talked to him not 5 minutes ago on the car ride over here.
Where is he?
He lives in New Orleans.
What made him call you Peter Mange as well, I wonder?
That's a good question.
Already, I've got a good question before the show's even started.
I think it was preordained. I don't know.
Came from like God?
I wanted to be. The story is my mom wanted to name me Benjamin, and then she was worried or concerned that it would be Benji Menji.
I like that.
Do
you like that?
That'll
Benji
go
Menji?
far on the playground.
I would have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have gone with that too. Benji Menji. But your dad won and out. And
yeah.
He went for Peter Jr.
And I'm Junior, right. So everything is the same. Peter Ehrlich Mange Jr., like the middle name as well. And I guess if my middle name had been something different, I think I'd just be the second.
Okay.
Is that how it works?
I don't know. Do you know? Anybody know?
Anybody know?
I don't know. I thought you would know, seeing you are the junior.
Yeah.
They don't call you. You didn't grow up calling you Junior or Shorty or whatever, or Little Petey or something.
For like one day, I have a memory of riding in the car with my mom and saying, maybe I should be called PJ, like Peter Jr., and that lasted till the end of the car trip. And
just as well. That would be embarrassing.
I don't know.
So anyway, if you're wondering who Peter is, he's the founder of Thrive, a new Orleans food business that doesn't make health food. It makes healthier food. Thrive operates out of the kitchen of Laurel Street Bakery in Uptown New Orleans, where you can order in advance, or you can just drop by Laurel Street Bakery instead of cooking or going out to a restaurant and pick yourself up a meal. Tonight, I suppose, right? Or any night.
Well, don't go there now because I'm
here. You're not there.
Well,
right now, but except when people listen to this, you won't be here.
Right. I will be
crazy?
there.
You might be there. You don't know.
Well, I don't know. I can't really. You're right, Andrew. I can't really say where he's going to be. Yeah.
I actually, I see a bar, and maybe I should do like Friday pickups instead of being at Laurel Street. We'll just be here.
Be here at Casa Borrega.
Yeah.
What a much better idea. You could just we'll give you an excuse to be here.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about your healthier food as well. If you're wondering where you've heard Peter's name before, he was one of the founders of Savvy Gourmet on Magazine Street, the first of New Orleans' new generation of hip foodie joints. And after Katrina, Savvy Gourmet was one of New Orleans' unofficial meeting places that brought back the community, that brought back the city. It was an incredibly important place to all of us, Savvy Gourmet, for a while. And you too, I suppose.
I mean, it was crazy, and it ended up feeling good. The payoff, so to speak, was more in the experience and certainly not in the revenue or the profits. But it was good.
But you did a huge thing.
It was really crazy. I can't even, everyone has a Katrina story. It's hard. I mean, there's so many stories, but everything from the guys with the M16s lined up against the wall, eating lunch to we were able to get our internet back fairly quickly. So, I mean, just imagine, you've been without internet for how many weeks or months, and so people were coming in, and a lot of
I
people.
don't have to imagine that. I remember that.
Yeah, and then of course just the community, like you say, like people running into each other. Like you
That
know,
was
the
great.
first time you guys see each other is
Yeah.
having a salad at Savvy Gourmet, and
Sure.
you know, in November of 2005. So it was really cool.
It was a big deal. Jeannie Firth is here as well. Hi, Jeannie.
Hello.
Hi, Jeannie is the founder and program manager of Geaux Youth Farm. Now, this is interesting. We have two food people. Geaux Youth Farm is a Tulane University incubator program which produces healthy food. Not healthier, but actually healthy.
There you go.
Not scared of the word healthy, I see over there.
Do you have a
Growing
card?
raw
Do you have a card?
vegetables,
Can I?
definitely.
Okay, good.
A card? What sort of, like a business card?
Like a business card.
We need to chat.
Yeah.
Well, wait till she hit a couple of drinks.
My
first.
people call her people.
Okay.
People still use it.
Where was I? Where was I on this thing, by
Sorry,
the way?
sorry.
Healthy food for local residents and inspires youth and adults to create personal, social, and environmental change in their own communities. Jeannie comes from a family farming background on the Kansas prairie, really.
I do. I'm a city kid, but I'm third generation Swedish immigrant, all farmers. So I'm sort of the city kid out of everybody. But the rest of the family, they're really holding it down on the prairie.
They're still out there on the Kansas
They're out
prairie. Well,
there.
I never even heard of the Kansas prairie. What
Oh,
does
it's
that look like?
gorgeous.
Is it
Oh
like-
my goodness.
Is
It's
that like
beautiful.
Little House on the Prairie? Is that Kansas?
There you go. I
Wow,
think it's actually
that's where
is
you're
it
from?
Iowa? But no, it's
You grew up
phenomenal.
in
The
that
Flint
sort of-
Hills.
Wow.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's it's like the rolling plains and the endless fields of wheat, but there's grasslands, very diverse ecosystems. It's gorgeous.
Do people do a lot of drugs there or what? Yes?
Ditchweed.
There's a big festival called the Prairie Festival that's put on by the Land Institute, and they kind of bill it as a conference or a convention, but really it's just this giant convening of kind of countercultural food activists and
Countercultural
agriculturalists.
food activists.
Activists
Activists.
that come out
Wow,
there.
I
I don't
never-
know. I've never heard about any drugs happening, but
Just a
I
big
wouldn't be
smoke
surprised.
cloud.
Okay, so the answer is no, really, then.
Very cultivated gathering.
So I see here, it says here that you left all that behind in the dust to become the co-chair of the New Orleans Food Policy Advisory Committee here in New Orleans and adjunct professor of the Payson School for International Development at Tulane University. Wow, and prior to that, well, you're way overqualified for this show, I'll tell you that. Prior to that, you graduated from the London School of Economics and Cornell.
That's right.
Holy
It all makes
heck.
sense, and I'm going to talk about urban chickens today.
Urban
All
chickens, are you?
connects, Right?
You've got a
Yeah.
plan of something you're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Urban chickens it is. Our musical guests today are a French band called Les Autres. Did I say that wrong or right?
Is it correctly?
Correctly, Les Autres. Okay, Les Autres is the only yee
Yeah,
the only yee band in New Orleans, possibly the entire southeast. And the members of the band sitting in front of us today are Vince Avila and Mike Kaufman, and the singer Karine Laguino is on her way apparently, but she's
Indeed.
got somewhere better to be right now.
I think it'll work. I know the
Work.
feeling.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess sometimes she has to. Even the French people have to work, right?
Well, it's true.
She's actually French. Right?
She is.
You guys are not
the
French,
sole,
I see.
The sole French
No.
member of the band, Karine.
Okay, so yee is a style of pop music that emerged from France, Italy, and Spain in the early 1960s. I've never read any of these words before. That expanded worldwide due to the success primarily of the French singer-songwriter Serge Gainsbourg.
Ah,
Yes,
Serge.
he's the man.
Serge Gainsbourg. Andrew Duhon, who's our eternal happy hour troubadour, is back from being the eternal troubadour, is back in town. Do
Yep.
you know anything about Serge Gainsbourg?
Never heard of him.
Never. Is that true, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so we have to rectify that. Can you guys do a little Serge Gainsbourg impression?
so, maybe with about a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah, we need lots of
and
cigarettes.
a lot more alcohol, yes.
There's a bar, and
So
they're
indeed,
so kind
we
to
can
us
make it
here.
happen.
They'll
We can
give
make
us
it
as much
happen,
alcohol as you
indeed.
need to sound
I
like.
suspect as we roll on, we'll get closer and closer to that
Goodness.
icon.
What did he sound like then? It sounded like a guy who smokes a lot of
I
Gauloise
think
cigarettes.
he was just the quintessential Frenchman. He just
This
he,
is Vince Avila we're talking to.
he would. I mean, I've only seen video clips of him, but he would stand at the microphone and he would smoke, and he would just kind of mumble his lyrics in just the most French way you could possibly do it, and everything sounded pornographic or slightly dirty
Sexy.
at least. Yeah, very
Indeed.
very French.
Is it fair to say he was kind of like a French Lou Reed?
No.
No.
That's got to be.
don't
It
see
can't
that.
take
I
that
think
long.
it would be
Lou
more
Reed
like-
was the definition of cool. Was Serge Gainsbourg the definition of French cool, maybe?
Oh, I think definitely.
Maybe,
He
yeah.
was. Okay, that might be a good description then, Peter. So that, Jeannie, have you ever heard of Serge Gainsbourg?
Oh, of course.
Of course. Okay.
Ford Mustang. Oh my goodness.
Brigitte
Everyone
Bardot.
everyone has heard Serge Gainsbourg. They just don't know it, but they've heard
Yeah.
his music.
Okay. Do we have anything that we can listen to? See if you can find something, Chris, in the 5 seconds we've got here to find it. So,
Bonnie and
so
Clyde.
now, Mike, what do you do other than play guitar? What do you play in the band?
I play keys actually.
You're the keyboard player.
And
I'm the bass
and
player.
Vince, you're the bass player. So you guys are musicians, obviously.
yes,
But did you know anything about French music, yeah music before this?
No.
not really.
What did you
No.
play before this?
Rockabilly. I was actually in a project called Atomic Daddy-O, and we practiced right up the street, actually, about a block past the Zeitgeist there.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of rockabilly covers, kind of little jump blues, which is rockabilly with piano added in, basically, following 12-bar blues. But we decided to go in a little bit different direction with this thing, Vince. I got a text from him one day that said, "Hey, man, you speak French?" And actually, I do speak a little French.
You do?
And
He
I
speaks
do.
a lot of French.
I
Actually.
do. I do actually get to do a little of the singing in the band as well. The Serge songs that we do, where Serge was actually the vocalist, I get to cover those.
Although you do actually Serge Gainsbourg covers.
Yes.
How do you get to speak French?
Well, I'm from Lafayette originally, which is in the heart of Acadiana,
Right.
and we've got a very strong French tradition there.
Did you grow up speaking Cajun French?
I did not actually. I grew up in the school system though, learning sort of the Parisian style of French.
Wow. Okay.
Did a little foreign exchange when I was about 16 years old. Spent a month over in Paris and came back thinking I could speak French.
So do you do vocals as well?
Yes, yes.
And so would a Frenchman or a French woman, if they heard you and they had not seen you, would they know? Would they say, "Oh, that's an American doing a"?
I would say absolutely at this point. Through long disuse, my accent isn't what it was.
Do you
but
at least
it's a lot of
smoke
fun.
cigarettes when you cover
Yeah.
the Serge?
Moved on to the e-cig, but yeah, I try to keep the image.
Okay.
Are you smoking e-cigarettes?
Yes.
Okay, so I ran into a guy last night at Whole Foods. He's standing outside smoking one of these things. It's huge, like a cigar.
Yeah, right.
So I had this whole conversation in which he told me that you can actually buy hash oil in the capsule to put it in the. You guys all know.
Really?
You know this.
Yeah.
I never
That's
heard
not,
that.
I'm not familiar with this.
You didn't know that either? No. So
I,
Andrew, you know all about this.
Well, it's great because, I mean, apparently the cool thing about it, or if you were to be smoking these things, and it looks just like the person who's smoking the tobacco resin,
steam,
but
or whatever.
But it smells like a skunk.
maybe it smells. I don't even
It's
know.
what all the kids are doing these days.
Yeah, they're black and they're about I don't know 6 to 8 inches long, and they're just little pipes that you can smoke inside because it's just vapor.
But this is the e-cigarette you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
but if you
pipe, but you can put these little containers of either tobacco or anything that
What have
else.
you.
You know,
It's
But does it
nicotine
and but
extract.
Does it? But if you get the hash oil and can actually get high while
Right.
you're sitting around here like
Yeah,
you're
I don't
inside.
know where
or-
you get that.
Well, where would you get it? That's the first question.
I'm gonna
That's a
find out,
Good
though.
question. Could you Google that right now? And
I know a
secondly-
guy.
Yeah. And secondly, doesn't it smell like weed or hash or something?
I don't think it does. You can smoke it inside.
Well, we got to get
It's
a hold
just
of this.
vapor.
What are we waiting?
You can't
for?
smell the e-cigs
God,
don't
fuck.
put out any smell. I mean,
Right,
you
yeah.
stand next to somebody and you
Yeah, but that's because they're buying this legal stuff that's just like soap or something that you're smoking. But if you got actual weed, Corinne, welcome to Happy Hour. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us. This is Corinne Leguinio. Who's
Exactly.
the singer from Les Autres, who
Yeah.
really is French. You really are French, right?
I'm French.
Okay.
100%.
100%. How
Yeah.
long have you been in New Orleans?
Yeah. It's
Nouvelle
my
Orleans.
third year here now. Yeah.
What was the reason you came here in the first place?
Why I came?
Yeah, why I came.
Because I wanted to discover the American culture. You know,
Why would
because
you come to
Yeah,
New
so you
Orleans?
can New Orleans.
actually,
you go to Kansas Prairie.
Go to the
actually,
McDonald's on
you
the
know, I
Champs-Élysées.
applied to go to different, places in the United States, and in Louisiana, we have a great chance that there is a program to preserve the French, in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So this is like a program, and they are sending French teachers to the French schools so that we can, help them study French, speak
Is that
French.
Codafil or codafil?
Exactly.
How do you,
Yeah.
how was the
Hey,
right? How do you
good
say it in
word,
French?
Peter.
Codophile.
Codafil.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's
It's an acronym. I don't know how you say acronym in
Council
French.
on the
Yeah.
Development of French in Louisiana,
exactly.
I believe.
Yeah.
Very
They
nice.
sent
Thank
it
you
to
very
Paris
much,
when I was
Mike.
16.
That's what you learnt when you were in Paris.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Corinne, you come all the way to New Orleans. First of all, you come to New Orleans, of all the places to go in America. Then they give you a French immersion school,
Yeah.
so you're speaking French all day.
Exactly. It's not immersion. It's actually a French school. Because I'm just speaking French all the time. So
100%.
it's a French school with a French curriculum, So it's a French school. You have some schools with the immersion program,
So what is this? What's the name of the school exactly?
Audubon Charter School.
And so that's all in French, and there's only
Exactly.
French people go to it.
Uh,
anyone.
they also have ELA, English, English
But I mean,
language.
It's total immersion. Like if I'm a student there and I'm a 10-year-old me and I have to go to the bathroom, I have to say I have to go to the bathroom in
Exactly.
French.
I don't speak English at all. It's very easy for me. So
And
it's
so
It's a
they're-
funny thing to come all the way to America to find out about American culture and then teach at a French school.
yeah, but actually, you discover a lot of stuff because you are in a French. You are with the American administration. It's an American school with the French. Part of the school is only with French teachers, but we still have to respect the American culture, the American administration, and we have to speak English with the parents because the parents usually don't speak French. And
So these are not French people going to the school. These are American people
very
sending their
few,
kids to a
very
French
few
school.
native French. Maybe like I would say.
I thought that was called immersion. When you're an English speaker and your parents send you to a school where they don't
Yeah.
speak English.
It's
that
immersion,
not- it
but
is called-
actually, you have different kinds of immersion, and that is the real French school. This is a kind different.
Is anyone following this?
Well, we actually know several
Vince.
of our friends send their children to Audubon, and it was funny when they first started seeing pictures of us. They're like, "Is that my son's teacher from last year?" Or, as a matter of fact, it is.
When you first started playing in the band.
Yeah.
Were you a singer in France as well?
No, I'm just, I lead the choir in my school. Usually, I'm the only one who likes to do that because it's not easy to sing. You have to feel comfortable with singing in front of 20, 40 students. You have to love that. And I'm the only one in my school who loves doing that. So
Well, luckily you
every
can actually
time,
sing.
yeah.
Luckily you can actually, you're not shy of doing that, and you can actually sing. Let's take a listen to Les Autres. What do you say? It's about time, right? We have a song. What's the
I think the first one is
Korean song.
yeah, this is the one Korean.
What is the name of the song we're going to listen to?
Laisse tomber les filles.
And what does that mean?
Let it go.
Let it go.
It means that after you're gonna have some troubles, it's better to let go the girls.
I don't know, but I want to know.
It's better to let
And
go.
Serge wrote this song. Is this one of
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Serge wrote
Yeah.
this song. He was kind of like a Phil Spector. Like he wrote and produced and kind of brought these young girls up to sing this.
I mean,
sing this
who was the woman that he was most associated with? Not Bridget Bardot, but Jane Birkin.
Jane Birkin.
Okay, right.
Oh, yeah.
Birkenback, right? And
Yeah,
then,
exactly. Right.
Jesus, Peter knows a lot of stuff. How'd you know that? Just from being a world traveler?
I feel like I know who Serge Gainsbourg is, but I
I know what he looks like. He has sort of swept
He
back
looks very
hair, kind
French.
of with
Yeah.
a cigarette. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of suave,
Often
debonair
in,
guy.
often in a suit or
But-
a tuxedo, and most of the
Is he still
the
with
early
us?
work. No.
No,
He
he's
died.
dead.
What did he
Yeah.
die from?
From
Lung
cancer because
Yeah.
he
Wouldn't you
smoked
know
a
it?
lot.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Cancer of the whole body.
That'll do it. Okay, let's take a listen to the song.
Laisse tomber les filles, un jour c'est toi qu'on laissera. Laisse tomber les filles, un jour c'est toi qui pleureras. Oui, j'ai pleuré, mais ce jour-là, non, je ne pleurerai pas, non, je ne pleurerai pas. Je dirai c'est bien fait pour toi, je dirai ça t'apprendra, je dirai ça t'apprendra. Laisse tomber les filles, ça te jouera un mauvais tour. Laisse tomber les filles, tu le verras un de ces jours. On ne joue pas impunément avec un cœur innocent, Tu verras ce que je ressens avant qu'il ne soit longtemps, La chance abandonne celui qui ne sait que laisser les cœurs blessés. Tu n'auras personne pour te consoler, tu ne l'auras pas volé. Laisse tomber les filles, un jour c'est toi qu'on laissera. Laisse tomber les filles, un jour c'est toi qui pleureras. Non, pour te plaindre il n'y aura personne d'autre que toi, Alors tu te rappelles
Les Ultra. I can't believe I'm saying that correctly, but I am apparently. Les Ultra.
Yes, you are.
And what's the name of the song? I can't possibly say that.
Laisse tomber les filles.
Les Tomber les Filles.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, what do you think?
That's cool. So I can't believe that I didn't think to ask this already. But so have you guys been playing with the Cajun bands in town at all, or going to the Blue Moon Saloon, or doing that whole thing?
We actually just played our first gig last Sunday.
Okay, got it.
No.
Yeah, cool.
But we hope to.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you guys know about the Cajun country and the Lafayette
Actually,
thing.
yeah, there was a seafood festival a few weeks ago, and they were talking about the French food, and the bands were like, "Oh man, I think they would love to hear pop music with French
Totally.
vocals."
And have you experienced the kind of Cajun French dialect? Have you experienced that kind of nuance with the
Yeah, but
Cajun?
not in New Orleans.
Right. They're not really around
when I
here.
went to Lafayette, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And the people were just like very happy to speak French, and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak French very well." And I was saying Cajun is French, it's a French, so.
Yeah.
So
And it was cool.
there's a sausage that begins with an A-N-D-O-I. Do you say andouille or do you say
Andouille.
andouille?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not how you would normally say it.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's not how you would say it in France. You wouldn't say or France.
It's not the way we would say, but we can completely understand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how do you say it in France?
andouille.
Oh, slightly different.
Glamorous.
And what's all? I mean, there's a million of them. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is so weird down here with the
Weird.
pronunciation. Yeah.
It's cute, it's charming. So.
Like
You
my
got-
my
you got-
la- sorry, go ahead.
I mean, all the street names.
Oh,
do a
yeah.
whole show about that.
Right. My last name is Duhon, and in
Yeah, well-
Lafayette we'd say Duyon, but apparently in France we'd say Duon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difference with the R.
Yeah, it's good bar conversation when I'm talking to women.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
you're talking to one right now.
There you go.
It works.
Did you come here by yourself? Are you single or what?
I came with my son.
Yeah.
He was
Is
3.
he single?
He's still single.
How old is he now?
He's
Just a
5.
matter of time, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's French.
That's right.
Yeah. How American is he?
Is he smoking?
Is he becoming?
Has he got one of those e-cigarettes that we could try?
Coffee and cigarettes.
Coffee, cigarettes. No, actually,
Wear a beret.
he's starting to play American football. It's
Oh,
you know.
That's awful.
So he's starting to become American.
Wow.
Is that
Immersion.
disturbing? Yeah.
Disturbing? No.
That's good.
I'm worried
No.
about
Somehow
it.
ironic. I don't know.
Is he becoming more American or more New Orleanian?
I think I don't know the difference quite enough myself to tell you.
You
So.
should go visit your parents in Kansas.
Yeah, come to Kansas.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Jeannie, how did you get from Kansas to London School of Economics? Are you like a
It's been
super
a long
genius?
route. It's been a long route. I wish I was a super genius.
How did you pull it off?
A lot of careful prayers late at night, down on my knees to get out of Kansas.
Prayers will do it.
Yes.
There you go. That's all it's going to take. All we have to do is pray.
Is this a folk song you're trying to inspire me? I don't
I
understand.
yes. I wasn't thinking that, but that's even
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get to London School of Economics from Kansas? Still really from the prairie.
I was in San Francisco for a long time and doing food justice work out there as well.
Wait up. Food justice.
justice.
Food justice.
That-
People don't know this term?
No.
Really?
Let's go. Well,
Is that
Peter
food
might.
security?
He knows a lot
Food
of stuff.
security night.
Which I think is it's a terrible. There was another activist that we had a conversation years ago, and I said it's an unfortunate name.
What do you think of food justice? As
Food
opposed
justice
to-
sounds better, but there's a
Right.
lot of other justices.
Sounds like a cape
Right.
should be
but
Social
food security is
justice.
a total misnomer. I mean, it doesn't really
I picture a
describe.
chicken with a
agree.
blindfold and a balance. And
Yeah, right.
that's all I can
Ah,
see.
there we go.
Food is blind.
What is it?
I mean,
Food
anybody
security
wanna
was the
weigh in?
original.
Right.
Was the original term correct
It's,
for
uh,
decades? It was called food security, and now it's
There's
Who
been a-
called it food security?
like
Food
the
activists.
international community. I come from the anti-hunger world, so that was sort of the way to
Is there a
capture.
pro-hunger movement?
I hope not. Gosh, is there anybody want to weigh in?
So
if they're
there's
from part of
anti-hunger
the-
is like pro-choice or something. It's like one of those,
yeah, it's a
one of
careful.
those terms
it's a-
that
yeah,
doesn't really.
exactly. If you
yeah.
choose the terms of the debate, you win the debate, right? We're gonna.
Well, anti-hunger. Who's pro-hunger?
What did I say? Anti. What do you want? What should we call
I don't
it?
know. Just wondering what it is.
I'm pro food justice. There we go.
So
How
food
about
justice and anti-hunger is the same thing, meaning there's enough food in the world for everybody if we could just hand it out
Like,
right.
yeah, just
that?
don't.
If it's equitable
yes.
distribution,
Right.
which
Okay.
is much harder than it might seem.
No reason for people to go hungry. No reason for people to die of hunger.
This is
Except that you have to
thought.
buy food would be the only reason, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
the-
then it's
is that
about.
true?
Then it's about the, a huge spectrum of inequity that produces why folks wouldn't be able to buy their, you know, most basic needs.
Are we talking about in the United States or around the world?
Well, my background is more, you know, both. I've done a lot of domestic work right now. I'm on this project in City Park, hiring teenagers to grow food. So very domestic. But a lot of my, you know, more academic background, I've worked in India a lot. It's a more international perspective. So it's looking at, you know, we have hunger right here in the United States. If you're talking about food deserts or food access.
I'm talking about food. Just, I don't mean this in a bad way, but you look so young. Are you a lot older than you look or something?
Oh, well, you want to take a guess? You want to guess?
Oh.
Well, you want to tell us the truth?
Well, I'm turning
never go
30,
there.
so when
That's
anybody...
it.
Is that young?
Yeah.
I feel so
well,
old.
for someone
like-
who's worked all around the world and done
Thank
this
you.
and done
Oh
that.
my goodness. Bring it up. Anybody,
Were you like
please,
Doogie
compliment
Howser? I
me.
mean, did you like graduate from high school and like at like 12 and then like, you know, college at like 16 and all in school? Is that
I'm really... Please keep telling me I look young at 30 because
No, that's
I'm
a legitimate
really feeling
question.
Well, it's
old.
very dark in here, actually. So you look awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice.
No, really, you look very young for someone who seems to have done a lot of stuff already. You already went to London School of Economics, to Cornell, which is either of those would be enough.
Oh, no, thank
And then
you.
worked
Thank you
in
for the
India.
confusion, but Cornell College, not university.
What's the difference?
Ah.
Is there a difference?
There's
Cornell
There's
College
one-
is
there's one's
on,
like
important
it's on
difference.
veterans and veterans.
Yeah, exactly.
Next to ITT.
much.
It's on Paris Avenue, not actually.
Pretty
Paris.
much. Oh my gosh. Lest I, you know, make a sacrificial cow out of my alma mater, but it is not Cornell University.
Oh, it's not.
Cornell
Okay, so we
College.
got that completely wrong.
Yes,
So
I almost let it slip, but
you
it
should
always
have just
bites
let
me.
it get away
Just
with
go
it. No
for
one
it.
listens
I'm
to the
sure
show.
that's not the first time you've let it slip.
I have been in some amazing awkward situations where suddenly I get introduced to someone's cousin who's a professor at Cornell, and why don't you know each other? You're in the same field. Yeah, I've let it slip.
No pun intended about the field. What is Cornell College? That's a high school or something?
No, it's it's in Metairie. No, you haven't been there.
What is it?
You didn't go there? Cornell College is a small school in Mount Vernon, Iowa. Liberal arts.
Okay, so it's a university.
See, I made a leap from Kansas.
This is a
to-
genius idea that they call a university the name of an Ivy League
you
university.
get there. What?
Why don't we have one
Now,
here?
now
Harvard.
from what I
Yeah,
understand,
Harvard
they
College.
Where's the hotel, restaurant, tourism school?
from what I understand, they were cousins. All right, Cornell cousins, and our college was first.
Aha.
Therefore, better.
Yes.
Yep,
Right?
the other one was
That's
First,
how it works.
first is always better, right?
First is better. So
Inspired
Is
by.
healthy better than healthier, or is healthier better than healthy?
Oh, it's a lot there.
There's a lot of arm wrestling you could do over
Wait,
there.
so but we haven't heard about her project yet. Can we get there? What's
Well,
going
okay.
on in the park? What
you
are
want
you
to talk
doing?
about teenagers in City
yeah,
Park?
yeah. What's going on?
All right, so we're a farm, and to be fair, I should say I'm part of the founding team, but I'm not the founder of
Okay.
the farm. I should be fair. Johanna Gilligan, esteemed woman who brought me on board to help start this project. But
Okay.
we're a farm in City Park that we're going into our 4th year. We started in 2011, and the idea is hire teenagers to grow food. So
Because
it's
they're cheap. It's like
'cause
Bangladesh
they're cheap. There are no child labor laws in
and City Park.
City Park,
in
right.
City Park or sadly in agriculture. You can pay people
Is
way
that
less
true?
than minimum wage, but we don't. We pay
Hang
minimum
on,
wage.
hang on. There's another timeout. There's no child labor law in agriculture?
There's
Are you serious?
Yeah, because it used to be that I think it's all left over from this era where you had a family farm, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like young people are helping out at the family farm, but guess what it's used for now? Like hugely exploitative labor practices and yeah, but you don't have to pay. There's very little child regulation in U.S. agriculture, and I mean the wages for even adults are.
Well, let me
abysmal.
ask you a follow-up question to that then. How do you get qualified legally as a farm?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, for most intents and purposes, we're registered as like a garden as an entity. We do have some liability as like an agritourism site because field trips will come and look at us, but we do not have livestock on the farm, that sort of thing.
Okay.
We're growing produce, citrus and tomatoes.
Okay, so we're
and
getting way off the
collards.
thing. So you're growing citrus?
Yes.
Tomatoes, what else?
In City Park, everything. I mean, any
You've
kind
got
of
like
produce
a
you can imagine.
farm.
Citrus season.
We're growing like 20,000 pounds of food.
You got a
in
lot-
the
I'm
last
sure you got a lot
couple
of
years,
kale.
so-
Can I buy it, or
Yeah.
where's it going? What are we doing?
Ooh, it's all over. So we're happy to be on some esteemed menus around town.
Nice.
40% of what we grow is just shared harvest. It's just donated.
Cool.
So it's just goes out into the community through, food banks. Some of the youth who work here, they can take anything home at any time that they want.
Well, I should think so if they're not being paid
Right.
anything.
They are being
Yeah,
paid.
take an
but-
orange.
Oh my gosh, they are making good money at the farm.
Oh, they are. So
Yeah.
you're not exploiting people just
No,
because
no,
you
no.
can.
Just because we can, we wouldn't.
Okay.
We're trying to change all that. We're trying to,
Yeah,
get away
justice,
from this.
after all.
Yeah, food
Yeah, okay.
justice.
Thrive is hiring, and we pay in peanuts, literally
Oh.
peanuts.
In actual peanuts.
Yeah.
See, Peter, you could have your restaurant qualified as a farm somehow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And then you could hire these kids.
And then I can grow
work
the
for
hash
you.
oil for Andrew.
Oh, this is perfect.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Now
This
we're
really
getting
is
somewhere.
about justice.
Social entrepreneurship happening right here.
Yeah. So you're going, how many thousand? 40,000 pounds?
Well,
of food?
this next year we'll grow 10,000 in 5 months is the goal. But over the last couple of years, we've grown 20,000 pounds of food on a very small space. And
Who's weighing all that?
young people as it comes out of the field.
Everybody, and someone's writing down everything that they weigh.
Literally,
5 pounds, write that down.
I believe it.
Wait, can I ask? Didn't
This is
remember
exact
when they had
science.
the on Fridays over the summer they had the happy hour at the different nonprofits
For the Greater New Orleans Foundation. Yeah,
and
we hosted
weren't,
one.
Weren't you the first one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy to
it
host
was,
them.
That was cool. It's
Thank
a beautiful
you.
building. I mean,
It's
neat.
gorgeous. Yeah, Tulane City Center designed this, phenomenal eco campus for us. So we have a beautiful site, and now we just expanded. City Park just gave us an additional 4 acres in our cooperative endeavor agreement. So we're a 7-acre site now, right by Pan Am Stadium, in between the dog park and Pan Am.
Oh.
So
Wow, wait.
Yeah.
So did you start this as a charity sort of, or whatever the
Yeah,
word is for it?
we're a social entrepreneurship project, so we're one of those kind of hybrids right now we're about 30% earned income, so that's just produce sales. So 60% of what we're growing we sell, and it's restaurants, at farmers markets. We now have our own on-site farm stand every Saturday. People come
Yeah.
out in the
Okay. Now we're
morning.
talking.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can come out and buy. So, through that we make a lot of money, really selling high quality, chemical free, locally grown by teenagers. People love that. People eat it up. And we're very grateful that they do. So, and then the rest is through foundations and individual support.
And that was Saturday.
So every Saturday at the farm, come on out. It's a beautiful site. You can get a little tour and hang out and buy produce from teenagers.
When does it start? What time?
9 to noon.
Great.
9 to noon,
And
yeah.
if I'm a teenager, how do I get hooked up with that?
Well, you have to go to one of our partner schools because we provide transportation.
What
so,
are
De La Salle, Sci High, Lusher, the Net, the alternative school, Warren Easton, and Clark High School. So very intentionally, different parts of the city, public, private, charter, alternative. We're trying to bring young people together to work that might never normally meet each other. That's a huge part of our mission. Bring young people together across race, class, location, gender, sexuality, whatever it may be. Bring them into a safe space. Get wonderful job training, but
Is there a quota system that you have to have a certain number of?
no quotas. It's all these definitions of diversity are very complex
Okay.
and flexible.
So you
I
don't
would
have to
say.
be transgender or something to get in.
Only trans students work at the farm.
Oh, that's what I was
No.
wondering. 'Cause that's
They
what I
would be
thought.
more than welcome, though. Yeah.
So what is the principle of it? Is because part of it is to teach kids to grow stuff, or teach kids to change our community. It says in this little intro that I
Yeah.
have here. Whatever. What does that mean?
I think that, if you take a traditional kind of youth empowerment model, it's really thinking about what do you need to equip young people with for a voice to feel that they can positively impact their community. So we expect maybe 1 out of every 1,000 young people we work with wants to become a farmer one day. That's fine, But almost everyone, 100% of our data at this point shows that young people leaving the program have either already started a garden or want to. So some people, that is a byproduct of it. But it's much more about, we use food as a way to teach all of these other things about life and about justice issues and about equity, kind of using it as a way for people to have a deep lens into a social issue. And then hopefully that spirals out into whatever young people are interested in.
Nutrition as well.
Oh, huge. Yeah. A lot of what we do is cook all the things that we're growing at the farm. So it's running cooking curriculum so that young people actually learn. I didn't
There's
cook
a
at that
kitchen out
age.
there, right?
Yeah, it's a nice
Yeah,
kitchen.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
really nice. So we bring in guest chefs, but a lot of it's done internally too, just for young people to have the experience of
Is this
cooking
all
with the
part-
girl.
Is this part of Tulane University?
No, we're separate. Tulane has been a wonderful partner since the start, and they built this beautiful facility.
So you're
but-
totally independent of all this.
Yeah.
So how did you meet this person who started this with you?
I was in London still. I was starting to look for a job, and my partner's a photojournalist. I wanted to move down here, and I was looking for a job, and I found out about them starting this farm. I heard rumors that she was going to, so I begged for a job probably for 4 or 5 months, just from London. Please, I want to come to New Orleans. So finally, they hired me on. I feel very grateful.
What were you doing in London?
At graduate school, so
So you went
Cornell.
from graduate school at Cornell
Yeah.
at Cornell
Satellite campus.
University.
Yeah.
So you went from London School of Economics specially to New Orleans to
That's right.
start a community
I
farm.
love it. Yep.
Like
Good
07 or 08? 08?
No, we're newer than that.
Oh.
I'm like brand new to the city, 2010.
Oh, wow.
So you went back to school, obviously, after you went to India and all that sort of stuff. What did you do in India?
Ooh, I've worked on some human rights. Like I've done a lot of work with women's human rights. I've done that. I've done a lot of language study. I speak terrible Hindi. If anybody wanted to know Hindi speakers, good, because I always end up in this horrible. But I've been studying Hindi for like 10 years. I'm terrible, but
Well,
so I've
it'd be
done
a pretty good
learning.
language to speak in India, I would imagine. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
and here in
Given
New
that-
Orleans,
Maybe the
it's
band can add
very
some
useful.
Hindi songs.
Are there a lot of Hindi speakers in New Orleans?
No, I mean they're
There's
they're
not.
around. I found them.
Yeah.
But no, it's a small community.
You take cabs?
Definitely. I don't know if there's that many Indian cab drivers.
I wouldn't know, but
anymore.
they all speak something else that not English.
I
can
have
tell you
not.
that.
I've not been blessed to meet any Indian cab
You haven't?
drivers. No.
I don't know if there's any Indian cab drivers, but everyone I take,
We
and I
try.
take a lot of cabs, there's no one, is almost nobody is
It's like
left
a
here.
international community.
Yeah, they come from
UN.
somewhere, but I'm
They-
sure there's got to be an Indian.
They don't
All
let you
right.
drive here.
I'll ask for them.
Call me.
Give
I'll
me your
give you all
business.
my
Give
number.
me your card.
I
Yeah,
really will.
I'll have
Text
one of them
me.
call you for sure. Hey Andrew, it's been a long time since you've been here. You want to play something?
What
do you
sure.
think?
Yeah, I got to go grab the guitar though, so you
Okay.
have to talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Well, I'll ask these other guys a couple of questions,
Sure.
and then to fill a bit of time in. Peter, we want to talk about healthy food in a minute.
Okay.
Healthier food. And
Healthier.
talk about how you got to start healthier food. And then we want to talk some more about the French influence as well in music and what you guys intend to do with it. What happens if you're onto something here?
Excuse me?
What happens if you're onto something, if you're really like, you know, are you going to give up your day job as a teacher?
I wish I could.
You do. What's it going to take? How much would you have to make to quit?
Oh, how much?
Yeah, like thousands?
Oh no,
Nothing.
not that much.
Not
No,
that much.
no. But no, I wish we could, have fun first, and then if it would be, it would be a big dream. But I'm not sure it's possible right now. But we never know.
But is that the plan?
What?
Is that the plan? Le plan?
I don't know. We haven't
I
discussed
I
about
try
it.
to live by the motto that real musicians have day jobs.
Yeah.
So I will always keep my day job.
What do you
because,
do?
I was a school teacher up until Katrina,
Yeah.
and then I had a change of plans after Katrina, and I'm an electrician now.
Wow.
But
that's
you
a
look
big-
like a musician. But
He does.
you not so much.
Mike, what
enough.
do you do when you're not playing music?
I'm in IT. I do infrastructure consulting and server building and router maintenance, that kind of stuff, software installation.
That's handy information to know. And It's
Right.
good to know someone who can fix.
Every time.
Shit, too,
So
because-
while I've got you here, let me just ask you this quick question.
Yeah. Do you get that a lot? It's like
Oh, no, I never heard it before.
everyone's asking you a question.
Sure.
What's the most common question?
There is no single.
There's
common
not one.
question. Is it bad if I downloaded this? I get that a lot.
You do. Do
Right.
people call you? All your friends call you and say, "Hey, I can't."
Friends, family.
Why isn't
I
it
do get a few
working?
calls. Sure. It's it's nice to be recognized in that aspect, I guess. And sometimes.
Who do you work for otherwise?
I work for a concern out of Arizona, Data Systems of Arizona. It was a small family franchise here in Metairie, and we were purchased a couple years ago by these guys out of Arizona.
Like a
It's
data
just-
center?
What's that?
A data center?
It's
Or-
not a data center. They're a reseller of a specific type of software that manages warehouses and wholesale inventory.
Ah.
I know this is really, really fascinating stuff.
It's strange
Usually
that-
the conversation at a party is ended by now. Computer guys enough for most folks.
So this is like,
yeah.
but isn't this one of the big deals if you can to track inventory?
Yes, and actually, it does end up being pretty interesting because you actually get to use some cool gadgets to track individual pieces of inventory and to keep the network connected in a big warehouse space or whatever. Like, there's a lot of toys to play with.
Isn't this like one of the biggest deals right now of all time? If because with Walmart tracking all their stuff and then Amazon going to start delivering stuff on drones and all this crap, isn't this like a huge? What is it called? RIF or RFI or
You're talking about RFID.
RFID?
yes,
What is? That's
yes.
not what you do.
We're not too far into that yet. We've made some forays into a little research as to how we might apply that, but we don't have any programs implemented with that.
So what is your stuff called if it's not RFID?
So it's not RFID. It's just where it's ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning.
Okay.
ERP.
There you go.
And that's a big deal, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
It's big enough that someone in Arizona would be doing it and want to buy your
Well,
company.
we're nationwide now at this point. So yeah, we've got.
What's it
offices.
called?
Amway.
Yes, Amway. The software we sell is from a company called Infor out of Atlanta. So we resell their software. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take a look for. Andrew, where have you been
Last week I was in Key West for a week.
for the Songwriters Festival?
No, actually, there's all the venues down there. It's such like a tourist hub that they'll book you for like a week straight, and you just park your car and rent a bike. And
A
you
residency,
Just,
so to
yeah,
speak?
essentially.
Ah,
yeah.
That's
nice.
awesome.
So
That's really nice.
yeah, it's great.
Wait, have you ever done a cruise?
I haven't, man, but
Like you never?
I
Not
would.
like jam band. I mean like
no,
you know,
I would-
lounge singer.
I would dance. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd dance for the cruise thing. Sure, whatever. So I didn't play this song at all in Key West because it's artistic.
Okay. What is it?
It's a song off the first record. It's called Holes in the Roof. I don't think I've ever played it on the show. I'm trying not to play any, repeat songs on the show. Clock strikes 12 and all's well as I sit still in this hotel, and all the silence that fills these halls, and there are no windows, only walls. In this hasty retreat, and I wait for raindrops to fall. Inside where I sleep, the holes in the roof, where the rain comes through, the holes in the roof, oh, they let the sun shine into. Window might make me feel sane, 'cause this whiskey just ain't enough proof. Well, I'd throw this glass right through the pane, 'cause this fix broke my promise to you. The holes in the roof, where the rain comes through, the holes in the roof, oh, but they let the sun shine into. Oh, but they let the sun shine in too. Thanks, yo.
Wow, Andrew Duhon, back. Thank goodness you're back. That's a beautiful song, as usual.
Thanks, man.
It's a little song about optimism.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess so.
Inadvertently.
Yeah, right.
The holes in the roof let the sunshine in too.
Mm.
Very nice. It's good to have you back. Thank goodness you're back.
Good to be back.
So, talking about disasters, Peter, I read on your bio here that says you lost your house twice. Once in 9/11 and once in Katrina.
That's correct.
There probably aren't very many people in the entire world who went through 9/11 and Katrina.
And someone should do something about that but there aren't. And
What should they do?
find us? I don't know. We can
Support
do a
group.
podcast. Yeah.
Are you psychologically scarred from that?
I think I must be. Yeah.
Are you an alcoholic?
Katrina.
You can say
no,
yes.
but
okay.
can I have another?
Yeah, have another
Yeah.
one of these Cuba Libres.
I mean, I don't. Everyone has a Katrina story, and everyone has a 9/11 story.
Yeah, but not many people have both.
Right. Yeah. But no, the 9/11 story, in short, is that my apartment was about 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center. So if the World Trade Center is a crime scene with a yellow tape, my apartment building was inside of the yellow tape perimeter.
Where were you at the time?
That day I was in D.C., which was no picnic either. But I was on a business trip that day.
What did you do in New York? What were you doing?
I was working for a .com, and this was and I'd gotten up there just in time for the whole kind of .com thing to come crashing down in 2000. So, yeah, I don't know if there's some kind of cosmic thing, but I've had a lot of bad timing in my life, really bad. But
Has it turned around? No,
I guess. I mean, I I have
I'm
hope.
scared to hang out with you.
I think I'm gonna get a copy of that song, and it's gonna become like a mantra.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna
Holes in the Roof, Let the
It's
Sun
for
Shine.
sale. First album.
really. Oh yeah.
Songs I wrote before I met you.
Knew you, yeah.
Knew you. Songs I wrote before I knew you. It's a beautiful album. So is The Moorings, which is Andrew's second album, which you should get as well.
I mean, I'm uncomfortable saying. I mean, everyone has a crazy story. My Katrina story is crazy, and it's bad, but so were a lot of people's. But it's been a weird, decade. I mean, it was kind of Katrina, and then 9/11,
happened to-
Katrina,
What happened after that?
oil spill.
Well, you were involved in that too.
Well, no, but in as much as that I was a part of like kind of the hospitality business, I had the, at the time we were trying to bring Savvy Gourmet back, and then when that happened, there was just this.
Nobody wanted to eat.
No one wanted to talk
Louisiana.
about anything,
Right.
and so the kind of people that we were talking to at the time just became completely focused on their own survival, and that was the end of anything of that. So, but there's the people kind of like the Brennans and Ralph, especially they talk about like kind of like a lost decade where 9/11 kind of began. There was a huge hit on tourism, huge hit on travel. Then there was the Katrina, then the economic downturn of 2008, then the oil spill, and so from 2001 to 2010, New Orleans as a tourism dependent city has really been hurt. It's been and they refer to it as like our lost decade, which I think we all would agree is turning around now. I mean, it's very different.
It seems to be turning around.
And I mean, and the kind of the thing with Savvy Gourmet is that we all just kind of say, well, we were ahead of our time, and it would work better in the city now than it did.
Well, that was a pioneering at the time. It was the first kind of, I don't know what the word for it is even, clean restaurant?
I don't know.
Is that a good term?
It was. We never wanted to be a restaurant.
Right, you were
Clean? Well, I mean, we
Well, it
were
was
cleaner
sort of
than like the bathroom.
Frankie and
at
Johnny.
F&M. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, which is back, by the way.
Frankie Johnny's opened again this week. I think.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's all
and-
cleaned up.
Right. That was a pretty gross.
That was dirty.
That was the first time I ever read any Voltaire. Was the stall at Frankie and Johnny's, and I was probably I don't know. I was like a sophomore.
Someone
in high
wrote
school.
Voltaire on the bathroom wall at Frankie Johnny.
I think it was like
he
was
said?
it like God is dead or Voltaire is dead or I mean it was a joke.
God is dead, sign Voltaire.
Yeah,
and then
something,
Voltaire is dead, sign God, I
Right.
think was the...
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that at Frankie and Johnny's directly, but what happened to... So Savvy went under because of the post-Katrina problems?
I would
it was
s- I
too
would
hip?
s- I would say we made it through the Katrina problems, and then the economic downturn really began in the fourth quarter of 2008, and then 2009 was just a disaster, and so we were a bit off of the downtown. So as you know, the conventions in New Orleans are planned 5-10 years in advance. So while the conventions weren't necessarily being canceled, what they were canceling were all the extra trips down, the
Yeah.
Garden District trip, the Magazine Street shopping trip, the cooking class at Savvy Gourmet. So those kinds of things were getting canceled. And so really it was I like to say, and this is somewhat romanticized, but we made it through Katrina. We didn't make it through the economic downturn when everything just kind of softened up, and that was the end of it. And so that was 2009, and then the oil spill was 2010, and I mean, and now it's like
Well, so we've got to be at the end of it. What else could there be?
I
I mean,
mean,
I hate to
it's-
tempt fate, but really.
Well, again, it's not really funny. People actually died in 9/11 and Katrina, but there is this kind of
There's a funny side.
there is a funny side.
Is there? Okay.
Like people will say, in a humorous way at a party or what have you, like, where are you moving next? Because I don't want to move there too. Just wherever you go, don't.
Where do you live now?
I
Not
live
even near the levee or
in
anything.
the Irish Channel.
No, that should be okay.
I mean, yeah.
Nothing can happen in the Irish Channel.
Well, nothing except
Oh man,
This is an earthquake.
putting the mouth on it.
yeah.
Poor guy.
Nah, come on. At some point, it's got to turn around. You can't be like...
it's
you
right.
Can't be,
As
yes,
they say,
I mean, you
as the
can't-
kids say these days, right?
You can't be...
I know,
every
right?
place there's a disaster. It's by sheer law of averages. It
Or-
would be
or-
impossible.
right.
Unless you're causing it, in which case
And so it's like
you
kind
need
of
to
like
kill yourself right now.
I'm not scared about flying or anything, but I used to be as a kid. But
How did you get over that?
I don't know. I don't know. But my point is, like, let me fly on a plane with someone that's already been in a plane crash because it's never going to happen again, right? I mean, it's
Right.
never going to happen again. So, in theory, like this law of averages, math, whatever, the universe, like, I'm kind of due.
Can I ask a question about
Yeah.
that, though? This is one thing I don't understand about that. How is it that probability is not affected by frequency in what you just said? Because I think about this.
Me too.
Anybody want to?
I think we all think about this.
Because it's two
Yeah.
separate
Actually, we
things.
don't.
Right. Does it actually make it safer if you fly with somebody who's been in a crash
Right.
before?
No, of course
No.
not.
Right?
Of course
No,
not.
it doesn't.
But
Okay.
but
I'm
it
just
has,
making sure.
But it has to. But it can't. But it has to.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, if you like Bill Gates, if Bill Gates stopped to bend over to pick up $1, he's lost
Lose
more
money.
money than or you know.
But there's different types of probability. The probability that is the probability of
Well,
winning the lottery when there's only a fixed number of, not the Powerball, but they're just like there's a raffle. There's only a fixed number of tickets, and you've got one chance in whatever it is, a million.
Sure.
And if you've bought 2 tickets, you've got 2 chances in a million.
And I mean,
There's a different kind of probability when you get on a plane. Every time you get on a plane, you have the same chance of
the
the plane
same chance.
crashing.
Right.
every time you roll the dice, every time.
Right.
But then there's like, you know,
But if you roll it 6 times on 6 in a row, you think the probability is less that it's going to be 6 next. But it's only
wrong.
less if you roll it an infinite number of times, and then you get the law of
you
averages or
go.
law of
I
probability.
was told there would be no math on this.
The
interview.
final exam.
Sorry.
But
I'm due.
Jeannie and Andrew, both of you spend time thinking about that, you said.
Oh yeah.
I do.
And you must too, Peter. Like, what sense do you,
Yeah,
what do you think about
it
In what
comes
sense?
up. My girlfriend, you know, we talk about it. Like, am I kind of doomed? Am I?
What does she think? Does she think she's lucky to have met you or unlucky to have met you?
Yeah, I don't.
working
I don't.
that out.
I think she's struggling with that right now.
Oh, come on, you're not serious.
Well, I mean, no, of course I'm not. I mean, I don't. I think she's very lucky, but no,
But what does she think?
I think she's struggling with it. I just like,
Really?
Well, I
is
mean,
she in love with you?
she is, but
Well-
what if it's what if it's
You've actually got her on the phone
what
now.
if I'm I don't know why that I was in 9/11 and Katrina and everything else, and I know this stuff keeps happening.
But suppose,
but
okay.
like,
okay,
suppose-
now we have to take this seriously.
Like some kind of mystic, like I'm a, you know, I was in some former life I did something horrible, and now
Karma.
yeah.
You worry about that?
But is karma, are karma debts incurred? It's over like millennia, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a very complicated
Yeah, it's
process.
not just
And
like
for you
I
to get
did-
it all at once.
like
I don't
when
know
I
about
that time I killed or I pulled the wings off the dragonfly when I was 4. Like I'm not
Yeah.
paying for that now.
you were
right?
that guy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's just
well,
not
that's a good question. As a person who spent time in India and speaks Hindi, Jeannie,
Oh, and now I'm the resident
there's a
expert
whole-
on
well, you're-
reincarnation.
you know more
I
than
mean,
any
there
of us.
Yeah, there are millions and millions of people there that are relegated to a life of bad luck.
I know.
Just
and many of them become Christians
I
that
feel like
does not believe in a cycle of reincarnation.
This is like the lost verse of that
The
Alanis
untouchables.
Morissette song, you know, where you dodge these things just to like get food poisoning from your organic apple or something.
Oh, come on, you know the words. Have you, I know you know the words.
Mr. Play It Safe was afraid to fly. Ruined his whole damn life to take that flight. And as the plane crashed down, he thought, well, isn't this nice? And isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Like rain on your wedding day.
Yeah.
And isn't that in fact a misuse of the word irony or ironic or
I think I remember an English teacher playing
Yeah,
this in
I've heard
class
that
at one
also.
point.
That
Yeah.
That's really not a good
No.
example of irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind
It's
of a
not.
bummer.
As, a,
Yeah.
as an
Sucks.
ex-school teacher, Vince, what would you say is wrong with that definition of irony?
Well, I just could never get past Alanis Morissette, so
You just
I
hate her.
just shut down as soon as she opened her mouth. So I
That's fair.
Okay.
Do you know what was their other hit song?
Jesus, I don't know.
you ought to know.
Do you
Oh,
know
I
who that's
know that one.
about?
I know. Everybody know?
Do you
Yeah,
know-
the dude from
Yeah. Everybody who doesn't know is about to have their
Full
mind
House?
blown.
Was it
yeah.
Full House?
Yeah, yeah.
Uncle Joey.
Uncle
I'm
Joey.
sorry, I just
Yes.
took that from you. Uncle Joey.
It's about him.
wait, like
Yeah.
the Greek guy, Stamos?
No,
No.
Stamos?
No, the other
the
guy
kinda
who
round-faced
doesn't make
redheaded
as
guy.
much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? Dave?
Uncle Joey has
Dave
another
Gouillet.
song?
Yes.
Is that
Chris
the
gets it
only?
again.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that was
Dave
Alanis
Gouillet.
Morissette's boyfriend? Is
That,
Yeah.
that,
So
yeah,
so
that
wait,
was her
Andrew.
breakup song to him.
Have how many songs have you written about real people?
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it ever a negative experience?
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Oh,
like,
God. You should buy Andrew's record
Is this
tonight.
fucking thing about me? What do you? I mean,
Yeah, well, you change the names to protect the guilty, I think
Yeah.
is the... You know.
So, but I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and y'all in French. I mean, I guess you could make a song about me in French, and I wouldn't know what you were saying. But you know,
I wouldn't do it because I don't speak French, but Corinne probably.
I
yeah.
could do it,
Or
but
Mike.
for Nano, I won't because I don't
You're a pretty nice guy.
I
You
don't
wanna make his life
kind of down on my
even
luck.
worse,
You know, I went through 9/11 and.
But
Katrina
you're not
and-
down on your luck now. You've started this new business, Thrive, where you
Look
make
where I'm sitting.
healthier food. You get free drinks here
Yeah,
at
these-
Casa Borrega.
I was
Everyone's...
about to say that.
You want another one?
No, I mean, like,
Yeah.
oh no, I have to pay for these. That would be like
That
something
would be
happen
bad.
to me.
Oh,
that would be like, rain on a wedding day.
Honestly, now listen. Are
It's
you
a free ride when you've
starting to
already paid.
believe this stuff about yourself now? Really?
Well, I mean, you
can't
asked earlier.
start
I
to
mean,
believe this. Really? Come on.
It's funny and it's not, but at the same time, there's this really real thing of like, is this really gonna? Is this
No, but
really how
isn't-
it's gonna
come
be?
on, I don't seem like some sort of weird Pollyanna, but isn't there something great about being a witness to history?
Yes.
About being there and
Yes.
not just having. I mean, all
Yes,
of us
yes,
are
yes.
obsessed with
Yeah.
9/11 and Katrina and all
Yeah.
these,
Sure.
milestones in our lives. You
And
were
when,
there.
and when I start having these kinds of conversations, then I immediately feel guilty. Like, why am I even talking about this? This is ridiculous. People had far worse happen to them than has happened to me. But yes, I
well,
mean,
of course, there's been people who've had far worse, but nobody here has. Have
It
we?
was, I mean,
We've
you
had
know,
bad
Katrina
things
was-
happen, but you've
Katrina
been in
was crazy,
two
and-
major disasters.
and,
Lost your house
pretty
twice.
And 9/11 was just that was weird, man. I mean, I had lived in New York for about a year before that, and about a year and a half after. But the smell, there were no horns. You didn't hear a horn in New York City for like 4.5, 5 days. Then one day there was like a horn, and then the next day there's another, and then 2, 3, 4 weeks later, it was back to horn. People.
Well, that's something you never think about.
I mean, it was crazy.
That sounds
Yeah. So tell us about Thrive, because we're going to have to get out of here in like moments.
Oh,
So Thrive is a gourmet to go. Is it
Right.
gourmet food or is it
yeah.
just
I mean,
good food?
It's gourmet. Yeah, it's good food. I mean, gourmet to go. I guess we're the big distinction I'm trying to make is it's healthier. It's not health food. It's just it's a little bit better. So like whole ingredients, not processed. Brown rice instead of white rice. Whole wheat pasta instead of processed pasta, white pasta, stuff like that.
Okay, so health. People say healthy, but you think people aren't going to think it sounds like it doesn't taste good.
Right, and there's still. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had Tim Harlan on the show, Dr. Gourmet. I mean,
Have we?
there's still a
We
million
don't know.
studies that come out every day where the minute, even among people that would identify that would be something that they care about, the minute you say the word healthy, the H
Right.
word, you're turned off. So that is definitely a word to avoid. And I might be, it's a thin line with being a little cutesy with my health like IER and italicized, so you
It's
see.
working. Yeah.
But we're not trying to be. I mean, I think the main thing we're not trying to be is punitive. Like, I don't want to be like, you're eating wrong and you're
Right.
you're doing everything wrong. You need to do it right. It's more kind of like, hey, this is delicious, and it's also good for you too.
Is anybody else doing this? What you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I have some. I had to do a little tweet earlier that I had to. The people that are ordering, they're going to come get the food today, are waiting for me, and
we won't
and then,
keep you any longer.
And then tomorrow, when this airs, I'll have food at the Laurel Street Bakery as well. So,
What I meant was actually, is anyone else in competition with you?
oh yeah,
Has
no,
anyone
for
else?
sure. There's a group called Your Nutrition Delivered. They're getting a lot of attention. They won like an Idea Village thing. There's
They make salads
Green
mostly.
Fork.
Okay,
Kind of does something
right.
similar. Good to You or Good to Go is Will Samuels.
And how's yours different from all these?
I would say that we are trying to. Well, it's a long involved question. We're just trying to be more. Our food.
Cheaper?
No, more just ours is delicious.
Okay.
It's not about like diet food or healthy food. It's really delicious food. But we have. I mean, one of the biggest things you can do, and again, this is a huge thing, is just giving you food that's the right portion size.
That's interesting.
I'm in my early 40s. For the first 35 years of my life, every single time I sat down to eat, I stuffed my face till I couldn't eat anymore. And like, you just can't, you can't do that anymore after a certain point. So that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. What about the guy who like understands that and is good with his portion and then gets the to-go box? Could you give me a to-go box of what I just ate after I finished the right portion?
That is a great idea.
Okay.
So wait, I mean, like I can still give you the American-sized portion, but I'm just saying at
Two
first
bits.
sitting, just
Right.
eat this much.
Eat this much,
Yeah.
and then take this
Andrew,
home.
that's a genius idea.
And
I
do-
think Olive Garden or something does that shit.
Yeah. It's.
I've never gotten it there. That's not what you know. but-
I think it's called the unlimited pasta bowl.
No. I think they have another
Bottomless-
thing where it's like,
Endless-
come
endless
get
bread
two
thing.
dinners, like get one tonight, and we'll give you one to
Oh,
bring
yeah.
home
Yeah,
thing.
one
You
to
know.
Jeannie, how do you feel about all this as a food justice person with trying to redistribute the food supply?
Well, there's always the irony that so many folks are hungry, and then so many folks are also dealing with a huge host of health problems from our food system. So, yeah, I think it can't be undercut, but it's true. I mean, we're used to those American portion sizes, and if you're paying money, you want that meal, that good hot meal. It's not necessarily healthy.
And sitting,
So-
I mean, and being in New Orleans, I mean, one of the things that's hard for me is sitting across from you is that, the people that really need my food the most are the people that are probably most likely that can't afford it. And I don't want to have a little boutique gourmet company that makes food for rich people and that's it. But I'm gonna do that until I can.
God damn it, we're doing it.
Until I can, pay the bills, and then I'll talk to.
Does it
Gina.
cost more money to make healthier food?
In general, yes, it does.
That's the problem, right there.
It just absolutely does, and that's why. I mean, again, like this is a huge issue, and you know way more about it than I do. But it's that's why you can go get McDonald's for,
Dollar menu.
8,000 calories for $2.99.
But if I wanted to get a healthier meal at Thrive at the Laurel Street Bakery, pick it up at Laurel Street Bakery uptown on Laurel Street, how much would it cost me to? I mean, is it more expensive than going out for dinner?
I brought a menu. I know we're on the radio, but
well, we can still read it.
It's less expensive than going out to dinner, and what we're really trying to do
well, that's
is
the key right there. As far as
we are trying to kind of hit like you
it
could
tastes better than I can cook, and I don't have to pay
that
restaurant prices.
And you couldn't recreate this. You couldn't go out to the grocery store, Whole Foods or whatever, and buy the cauliflower and buy the vegetables and buy the oil and so I'm priced right below where you could do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I don't know how many. Yeah.
So how much am I paying for like a pasta meal tonight if I'm
alone and lonely?
How about a?
How did you know?
How about an herb roasted pork tenderloin with cauliflower puree, roasted root vegetables?
Does it come with a bottle of scotch?
A 7-ounce portion,
good.
a 7-ounce protein size plus several other ounces of the other stuff is $14.45, and it's gluten free.
I don't care about that, but that is cheap. I'll tell you, that's not expensive. I went out last night and I had I just went to a regular little restaurant, and I had a couple of little tiny pieces of catfish, and some sweet potato something and some cabbage, and it was like $23.
Yeah.
Plus tip, plus of course you have to have a drink or two.
Right.
And so I can get this for $14 and go home.
And
Andrew's got the
drink.
scotch at home,
Right.
Mhm.
so I don't have to pay for that.
Playing the
Got that
blues.
giant gallon jug. At
So
home.
we're good. I don't think that's expensive. Do you guys think that's expensive?
No, that works.
No.
Even the food justice person doesn't think that's expensive. So
Well, it just depends. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
for a
think
need to
that, I don't think that you
apologize.
eat. I don't think you eat that well every night.
Right.
But for it's I don't have the cost structure of a restaurant. We're an un-restaurant where we
Right.
don't we don't have servers. We don't have the dishwashers. We
Right.
make the food. We cook it. We chill it. We portion it out, and then we sell it. And
do
so,
I have to? Are you chill it so it's not hot when I go to pick it up?
Right.
It's not
no,
like
that,
drive-through.
and that's important because we are the food is made with the intention that it's going to be reheated at some
Okay.
later time, unless it's like a cold salad or a
Okay, well, here's an interesting question, because am I going to totally fuck it up by putting it in the microwave?
No, and you can't. I mean, microwaves exist. People use them, and so we serve it. I didn't want to use plastic at all, but it's a microwave safe, dishwasher safe, recyclable, reusable.
Yeah, but sometimes when you put stuff in the microwave, it tastes like shit, and you just eat it anyway because it's quick.
It's the
And
best
hot.
thing.
I
you
don't.
got.
I don't want to get this incredibly nice, healthy meal and stick it in the microwave and ruin it. Am I going to ruin it?
No, and I mean so there's certain things that we're just not doing because they're not going to do well in the microwave.
Okay.
But
So I can buy something at Thrive, put it in the microwave, and it's still going to taste good.
yes,
All right.
and I'd
I'm
say probably
starving.
98% of my people do that, and then a few others will do it in the oven or like a low oven for 15 minutes.
That's all it takes, only 15 minutes. Oh.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can
know.
do that.
This is
Okay.
actually a big project I'm working on, the reheating instructions, and I've been in business for 4 months and I haven't written them yet because it's hard. It's really hard.
Well, that's where you can talk to Mike Kaufman. who
I
can-
think you should have a loner special where you come in and you just get one meal, and it's like serving piping hot loneliness tonight for you and no one else.
Right.
a loneliness special.
The dining alone, the dining
But
alone.
I don't have
special.
to. I don't have to order
Table
in
for
we
one.
got-
Table for one.
We got to get out of here. I don't have to order in advance, so I can just show up at the Laurel Street Bakery.
Well, and
or do
but-
I have to order it in advance?
You should. You don't have to. You can come and
just say,
whatever's
"What are you
there-
making?"
Right.
You got a pork tenderloin left over? I'll take it.
So like right
Get it.
now I have salmon and pork, but I'm out of the chicken, and so you'd be out of luck.
Okay, we have to go. But talking of chickens, Jeannie, before we leave, you have anything to say about chickens?
Oh, right.
Oh my goodness, where do I even begin? They're
I don't
fun
know.
pets, but please think responsibly before you go out and buy backyard chickens. That'll be my plug for that. Just
Okay.
really think about it.
And we're going to have to leave it there. That's going to be the last word.
Great.
You got to know your chicken.
All right.
They're
Thank you
amazing
so
fellow.
much.
Thank you.
Jeannie
Fun.
Firth. From Les Autres, we had Karine Laguinio, Vince Avila, and Mike Kaufman. I got that right. Peter Minge from Thrive. And Andrew Duhon is back from his travels. That's Happy Hour for this week. The show was produced this week, as always, by Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh is responsible for booking Les Autres and all the music on Out to Lunch. I mean, Happy Hour. Why did I say Out to Lunch? The theme song to our show was written and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. The fabulous audio quality of the show is brought to you in part by PreSonus Audio Electronics. PreSonus makes some of the best audio recording and live sound products around, including Studio One music production software, Studio Live digital mixing consoles, Era Studio monitors, and much more. You can visit PreSonus.com for more info about that. If you'd like to be on our show, you can sit around the table here at Casa Borrega and drink. How many Cuba Libres did you guys all drink today? 2 or 3 and still remain
I have
upright?
had, like,
be able to speak?
1 or 2.
Un, deux, trois.
Very good. Drop us a line. Our address is on our website, where you can also check out other Happy Hour shows, and you can also find Out to Lunch for Real with Peter Asciuti live from Commander's Palace, Mindset with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic, True to the Game with the fabulous Chris True and Tammy Nelson, Vietnam, our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community with the Vietnamese Terry Gross, Kim Vu, and Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada, which next week is coming to you live, by the way, from Thrive at
At the Laurel
Laurel
Street
Street Bakery, which is a complete and utter coincidence. Which is crazy, actually.
Yeah.
It really is weird.
It is.
Maybe if things are turning around, it's a good coincidence
Yeah.
for a change.
I mean, I'm sitting here, aren't I?
Come on, I hope so. Keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media, too. You can find us there. It's New Orleans on all of them. If you listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or another podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment to rate and review us. That does help other people find us. Remember to support the NOLA Chefs thing for the Philippines on a Monday, December 16th. If you listen to this before then, down at the hotel. What is it? What hotel is it? You can find out all that at NOLAChefsAid.com. NOLAChefsAid.com. It's the Hilton. Oh, they're already breaking the bottles over there. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for It'sNewOrleans.com. We're recorded live today at Casa Borrega, down here on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard. It's a bar, it's a restaurant, and it's a live music venue. Check it out. Till next time, for Andrew Duhon, everybody around the table here, I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back next time on Happy Hour.
In our house, alma mater matters. This is Miller's Ale House, and we are the house of football. We've got every college game every weekend, all season long on over 60 TVs, because winning is way better with friends. Plus, we've got all-day food and drink specials, including your choice of an order of zingers or a cheeseburger with a pint of beer. Huddle up at the House of Football. Find a Miller's Ale House near you.
Games are subject to blackout restrictions.